The Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers are back in the Super Bowl. Now, if you don't remember, these teams actually faced off in the big game just 4 years ago. And you could say that this rematch isn't much of a surprise. They're two talented, well-run, well-coached teams, and now they're returning to the championship. But there are some others out there, even former presidential candidates, who believe that this is actually all preordained, that the two best teams in the country didn't get there on merit alone. Sure, the Chiefs and the Niners may have been the two teams with the best odds to reach the Super Bowl before the season even started, but no, there are people out there who believe that all of it was rigged. Here to explain the theory, WRAL investigative sports reporter Brian Murphy. Brian, please educate me here.
Well, you're likely to hear two names above all others for the next 2 weeks. That's Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, the global pop superstar and the Kansas City Chiefs all-pro tight end. Once again, the spotlight is on them. Some believe that their relationship is some sort of political conspiracy to artificially inflate the popularity of both, and then use that popularity to boost the ratings for the NFL, promote vaccines, and ultimately re-elect President Biden. See if you can follow. Swift, a music superstar for 2 decades and now a megastar on the highest grossing tour of all time, is dating Kelce, a future Hall of Fame player who has hosted a reality TV dating show and Saturday Night Live. The NFL, the most popular sport in the nation, is rigging games to get the Chiefs into their 3rd Super Bowl in 4 years. The media is focusing all its attention on this couple, and this is all being done to help President Biden win re-election? That's what former GOP candidate Vivek Ramaswamy says, and he's not alone. Social media is filled with this particular conspiracy theory. Some wonder if all the magazine covers that Swift graces are not an attempt to sell magazines, but an attempt to sell her to the American people. After all, the New York Times reports Biden aides have Swift atop their wish list for an endorsement this year. She did come out against President Trump in 2020, and Kelce is doing TV commercials for Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine. So, Dan, what do you think? True love or a plot to take over 2024?
What a complicated thing. Both, right? True love and a plot to take over the country in 2024. I think the best way to handle this, Brian, is to go in depth. And I'll be honest with you, I'm almost reluctant to discuss this topic because in an effort to cut through the noise, we run the risk of actually becoming part of the noise, but we'll try our best. And we'll start with the tweet from Vivek Ramaswamy that Brian was talking about. He wrote in there, "I wonder who's going to win the Super Bowl next month," and then calling Swift and Kelce this artificially, culturally propped up couple. It seems like he's suggesting that the NFL could be rigging the scores of games, which is a wild thing to say without citing any evidence, and not because of the political influence of this famous couple, but because of the implications of fraud. I mean, think of the gambling businesses alone. I mean, last year, an estimated 50 million Americans wagered on the Super Bowl, and bets totaled an estimated $16 billion. They expect those numbers to be even bigger this year. If the NFL conspired to rig games, I mean, that's fraud involving billions of dollars, a federal crime. But I'm probably looking too far into it. I mean, the whole thing was tweeted without really much conviction. Vivek even said in the tweet, just some wild speculation over here. And honestly, well, you probably shouldn't be too caught off guard by this type of rhetoric nowadays. The social and political landscape is filled with mainstream examples of unfounded conspiracies connected by speculation and circumstance. This month, NBC News published this. Disinformation poses an unprecedented threat in 2024, and the U.S. is less ready than ever, explaining how advances in technology, for instance, particularly artificial intelligence, have made it easier to create and disseminate propaganda. I mean, this is real and something you honestly need to be looking out for. A perfect example playing out just this week with none other than Taylor Swift, when nude deepfake images of her went viral on X, amassing tens of millions of views before they were taken down. Completely fake pictures. I mean, frankly, we can't trust pictures anymore. And apparently some of you don't trust the NFL or our elected officials or voting or the political party you don't agree with, or doctors or experts or non-experts. Some of you don't trust teachers or parents. Some of you don't trust judges or the police or the activists who are against the police or the attorneys who support the activists or support the police. Some of you don't trust the news or me. And maybe, well, just maybe that's not the worst thing. I mean, you shouldn't blindly trust anyone trying to sell you something, a product or an idea. I mean, you have to be proactive. Educate yourself, doubt things, dig for answers, learn to think critically. Meaning, if someone suggests that the most famous singer in the world is in cahoots with the NFL to fabricate a relationship with an aging tight end in order to defraud American businesses and encourage young people to vote for a presidential candidate 8 months before the election, you should want some supporting evidence. And while we're at it, if someone tells you to vote a certain way because they can write great songs or catch touchdowns, you should want some supporting evidence there as well. And same goes for this segment. I try my best to tell you balanced stories, but my best is all I got. Sometimes I miss things. I need another perspective. I need you at home to be part of this segment with me. So please email me at dan@WRAL.com. Tell me what is on your mind, what you think the local news is missing, what should we be talking about. Tell me your ideas and we will go in depth.
Social media is filled with speculation.
You know, and we got to get used to it. It's here. It's not going anywhere. And
you got to be smarter than that, right? It's your responsibility.
Absolutely.